Hey guys, so this video is going to be pretty short and sweet, but I wanted to go over who I personally thought won E3 this year. Now I know this is subject to opinion, I know it varies a lot from person to person, especially when, somebody owns one specific console, they're obviously going to have some bias, which kind of applies to myself, but I'm going to try and do this from two different perspectives. One of them is going to be whose conference did I enjoy the most just in general, and who do I think won. So let's get right down to it. So the conference that I enjoyed the most was actually Sony's, and the reason I say that is just because I think they had the most interesting stuff throughout that applied to me personally. With the stuff that's going to be released really soon, they addressed a lot of stuff that's happening in the next couple months. First off, they've got the Destiny Alpha that's coming out, and they've got PlayStation Now coming out next month, and they've got The Last of Us coming out next month. They also showed the Mortal Kombat stuff, as well as the official announcement of GTA 5 coming out for next gen and also PC. And yes, I do realize that, a couple of the things I listed there are going to be multi-plats, but they were specifically in Sony's conference, so that's why I enjoyed it more. So let's move on to the next important part. In an unbiased way, who do I think won overall E3 as a whole? All of their stuff combined, but also, who had the most interesting exclusive stuff, most exciting stuff, actual gameplay and not just necessarily CGI, and actually took the time to talk about video games themselves. I know this is going to probably upset a few people, but honestly, when it comes right down to it, I don't think anyone won this year. This year's E3 was just really bland and very stupid. There wasn't much announced that was that noteworthy, and there wasn't a whole lot of gameplay. There was a lot of CGI trailers that don't actually show you anything about the games themselves. It's just a lot of, this is kind of what we have in the back of our heads. We haven't actually put it down on paper yet and actually, created anything substantial to show you, but yeah, this is what we might do in the future. And yeah, we made it look cool, but it's CGI. So it doesn't really count at all towards how, impressive their personal exclusive content was. Now I know that Sony showed off some cool stuff and they had their betas that Xbox doesn't have, and Wii showed off some really exciting gameplay and showed off some cool stuff. And Microsoft had, some interesting announcements as well, but it was just flooded by a lot of stuff that's can be happening in the future, but it's going to be a while off, and it just wasn't that exciting. There just wasn't anything that really got me pumped up in any of them. As an unbiased opinion, let's act like, I own every single console. Who am I most excited for? Really none of them. It was interesting to hear a few of the things, and, it was cool to see some of the gameplay trailers that actually were there, but in all put together, this E3 was a lot less exciting than previous E3s. I find this really upsetting. You would kind of expect that after a major console release the previous year, just a year ago, let's think about this, just a year ago, we were just hearing about Xbox and PlayStation 4. And now, here we are, and there's not a whole lot being announced. There's not really anything groundbreaking. There's no real new IPs that are getting me up and like, yeah, let's play this. I want to do this now. There's none of that. There's nothing exclusive. I'm looking forward to The Last of Us, but that's rehashed, and I think it's cool that they have Halo coming out, but guess what? That was already released. It's just, we've gotten to the point where it's a bunch of delayed games, or games that are being recreated, or, just a lot of indie games that I'm not really watching E3 for. I respect the people who do indie development, but that's not why I'm watching E3. I discover indie games on my own personal time, and a lot of the time it's on Steam. I don't need to watch E3 to hear about indie games. That's not being rude, and it's not an insult to anybody out there that creates indie games. But that's just not why I watch E3. I watch E3 to hear the major developers talk about AAA games. So really, that's my personal opinion on E3 this year. I think maybe tomorrow will be more exciting, but honestly, I haven't seen anything that's going to be cool tomorrow. I haven't really seen anything that's made me that excited. I think it was pretty bland this year as an overall, and I really feel like, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony all did just as well as each other. They had their highs and lows. You think that they would show a little bit more gameplay in their conferences, but in reality, like EA and Ubisoft showed more actual gameplay than Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo. And I just generally wasn't that impressed with anything. So that's my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and like so that we can get more people up in here and, watching the videos and all that stuff. So I'll catch you guys later. I'm going to be putting out some Battlefield Hardline gameplay and talking about that on, I believe, either Friday or Saturday. We'll see what happens there. I actually just got into the beta today, and I'm downloading it right now. So I want to actually have some time to play around with that before I make, a video talking about it. So I will catch you guys later. I'm out of here. Peace.